This video has been funded in part by the Guild via Patreon. Check out the links in the description or at the end of this video for more details.
Hello everyone, my name is Gildart, and we have just had some big news dropped on us recently, and let's be honest, I have some opinions. But before we get into that, don't forget to give this video a like, comment with your thoughts below, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Every little thing helps this channel get recommended to others, and I greatly appreciate it. Plus, I just like chatting with you guys in the comments. Anyways, if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, Samurai Warriors 5 was finally announced in a Nintendo Direct on February 17th. Since it was announced during a Nintendo Direct, the fanbase was pretty worried it would be exclusive to the Switch. I saw a lot of people making comparisons to Samurai Warriors 3, but Koei Tecmo cleared things up with an official announcement that it would also be released on PS4, Steam, and Xbox One, with the PS4 and Xbox One versions being backwards compatible on PS5 and Xbox Series X. That was probably one of the biggest things for me, because even though I would have still played this game on Switch, I knew it would have performed better on the PlayStation and even Xbox line of consoles. And that was another thing that I was happily surprised to see. This is the first time a mainline Samurai Warriors game is getting released on an Xbox console since Samurai Warriors 2 was released on the 360 back in 2006. If you count the Extreme Legends expansion, which was released as DLC instead of a separate game to buy, that would still be 2008. It's been over a decade since Xbox saw a Samurai Warriors release. If you were exclusively an Xbox player, the only way you would have any exposure to Samurai Warriors 3 or 4 was through Warriors Orochi. I can't tell you how excited I am to add this to the collection. But you're not here to listen to me spout on about how I prefer to play on Xbox. There's already a video on that, so check out the iCard if you're interested in watching that video. And I would still play this game even if it was Switch exclusive or if it was only on PS4. What really matters is, what did I think about the trailer? I watched the trailer over and over again to really get my opinion down. First off, I love the new art style. I know some people aren't going to like it because they don't like the anime influences, whether it's the movesets or the character designs, but I absolutely love it. I think the Musou franchise is at its best when it doesn't take itself too seriously. Though I have my gripes with Dynasty Warriors 6, I do love the character designs and the way that it tells its story. So having a more anime style already makes me really excited to see more about Samurai Warriors 5. Right away, we get to see young Nobunaga and Mitsuhide. Nobunaga kinda looks like his Kessen 3 self. In the Nintendo Direct, they said that every character has been redesigned. We get confirmation of what Nobunaga and Mitsuhide look like, but we see what could be No and Toshiie. Maybe. We don't get confirmation, and we also don't know who this red-haired girl is. And I'm not gonna speculate who all these characters are or what characters we might see, because I'm not super familiar with the Sengoku period. But we're pretty sure that this is No. They also showed off what could be the box art in their official post. And if this isn't the box art, I would love for this to be an alternate cover. Here we can see Nobunaga, Mitsuhide, and the girl we believe to be No. What's really interesting is that No is using a bow and arrow. She also looks pretty dang cute. Not quite her look from the previous games. Speaking of weapons, in the trailer we see Nobunaga and Mitsuhide using what seems to be the exact same katana-style weapon. This raises some concerns around cloned movesets. We've seen this happen when Koei does a hard revamp. Dynasty Warriors 6 and 9 were both hit pretty hard with clones. I really hope we don't see something like that happen. But what I will say is that if we have to see clones, I would like to see weapon switching appear in the Samurai Warriors series now. Since it was introduced in Dynasty Warriors Strike Force, I have loved that feature. So adding it to the Samurai Warriors series seems like such a good move. If there are cloned movesets, it could help keep things a little bit more fresh. It worked with Dynasty Warriors 7, so why not this? Going back to the story, I want to talk about that. Since this is a soft reboot, we're going to see a lot more focus on the early Warring States era of Japan, with a large focus on Nobunaga and Mitsuhide's story. It's likely that we'll either see the end of the story at Honnoji, or maybe partway through. If it ends partway through Nobunaga and Mitsuhide's story, I think that the Battle of Anegawa would be a perfect spot to end on. But what this looks like to me is the Spirit of Sanada style game with a focus on the Oda clan that I wanted back when I first reviewed Samurai Warriors Spirit of Sanada. If we have that story-driven focus outside of battle with cutscenes and events that really connect you to the characters, I can see this being one of the best Samurai Warriors games to date. Maybe even the best Warriors game to date. The main thing that it needs is that bridge that connects the player to the characters and immerses them in the world. For me, Spirit of Sanada did that, and I would love to see the same thing happen with Samurai Warriors 5. And if we see something similar to Spirit of Sanada, that means we might also see aging characters, which makes a whole lot of sense. Maybe Nobunaga starts growing his beard out, and as he slowly conquers Japan, he gets closer to becoming the demon lord we know from the previous games. Maybe we'll see that change from being a carefree warrior with his sights on unification that slowly deteriorates into the darkness and becomes a living demon. That would be really cool in my opinion. We also don't see too much gameplay-wise from the trailer. We see a little bit of Nobunaga and Mitsuhide's movesets and Musos. I think it's pretty safe to say that this game isn't open world. And I didn't expect it to be either. I think we can also assume that the combat is going to be a little different from the previous games as well. I don't know what will be different, but I don't think it's going to be the exact same. I didn't see any hyper attacks, but that doesn't mean they're not in the game. With what we see of the Muso attacks, I think it's safe to say that these are going to be more similar to the Dynasty Warriors Musos than the previous Samurai Warriors ones. They also end their Musos in a pose that is befitting of a desktop background, and I can't wait to add them to my collection. The last thing that I'll mention that I noticed in the trailer is the soundtrack. It's not the electronica dance EDM style that we've heard in the last 4 games. It has a more orchestral rock sound. At first, we hear that orchestral soundtrack, but once the Nintendo Direct guy starts talking, we hear the distorted guitars. This sounds a lot more like a Dynasty Warriors soundtrack than a Samurai Warriors soundtrack. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It ends up being a lot like Dynasty Warriors 4, where it's rock, grunge, and metal with traditional Japanese instruments. If that's the case, I will be super happy. I can't wait to hear City of Flowers done this way. Also, having Wagaki Band do the Samurai Warriors 4 2 image song was the perfect choice. Koei, please bring them back. Actually, make them the featured artists of this whole soundtrack, because that is the only proper choice for the Samurai Warriors series. And that's my thoughts on the trailer that we got in the Nintendo Direct. There's not a whole lot of information out there right yet, but there's more coming on February 25th. As information gets released, if it's substantial, I will make another video with my thoughts on it. But if it's not, I will be talking about it in the Discord group as well as on Twitter. So if you're not following me on my social medias and you're not in the Discord group, what the hell are you doing with your life? Check out the links in the description below. And of course, if you'd like to help support this channel and what I do here, you can join the Guild, just like these awesome people that you're seeing on screen right now. You can join them at the end of every single video for just $1 a month. There's other rewards and other tiers as well, so check out the links that you see on screen, and I will see you all down in the comments.